What's up everybody, it's your boy Jack here, coming to you from Xi'an, China. Welcome to the China Crew channel. On this channel we walk, talk, defend, and explore China. If you've missed our previous video, choose follow this link. Coming your way today is the international news roundup concerning the COVID-19.
So you think you know China?
Or at least what other people have told you about it.
And that's fine.
But let us tell you what China is.
To us. Or even better.
Let us show you.
Italy's death toll from the novel coronavirus shot past 10,000 with 889 new deaths since yesterday. The toll in Italy, the country with the highest number of deaths in the world, stands at 10,023. An additional 5,974 recorded infections brought the total to 92,472 since the outbreak started last month. Italy has received $68 million in donations to purchase more masks and ventilators, either from private donors or companies. Since the beginning of the coronavirus crisis in Italy, 51 doctors who tested positive for the disease has died, the Italian Association of Doctors said on Friday. US researchers can now decontaminate N95 masks for reuse. The N95 respirator masks that healthcare workers need to protect themselves while treating coronavirus patients are in dangerously short supply. So much so that physicians are wearing used respirators, risking infection while caring for patients. The Duke Regional Biocontaminant Laboratory team has already decontaminated hundreds of N95 respirators without damaging them, so they can be reworn several times. It could provide significant relief for hospitals running low on supply. Confirmed coronavirus-related deaths in the US doubled in 2 days, surpassing 2,000 on Saturday. The US ranks 6th in deaths after Italy, Spain, China, Iran, and France. Italy alone had more than 10,000 dead. President Donald Trump said he was considering imposing a 2-week quarantine on New York, as well as portions of New Jersey and Connecticut. The mayor of New York believed it would be illegal of the federal government to quarantine New York, economically catastrophic, preposterous, and short-sighted when other parts of the US are seeing cases rise as well. Later, US President Donald Trump said on Twitter that Centers for Disease Control will issue a strong travel advisory for parts of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. He also noted that a quarantine will not be necessary. The US FDA has cleared a rapid test kit from Abbott Laboratories, which the company says can detect coronavirus in about 5 minutes. The tests, which are serological, meaning they identify presence of antibodies in a person's blood, differ considerably from the molecular testing that is currently in use under emergency use authorization by FDA-approved labs. 45 new COVID-19 cases are reported on the Chinese mainland, with 44 imported cases. Wuhan reports 0 new COVID-19 infections for the consecutive 5 days. A medical team from Xinjiang region arrived in Islamabad, capital of Pakistan, on Saturday, bringing aid, materials including 100,000 medical masks, 10,000 N95 masks, 10,000 testing kits, and 12 ventilators to help it fight the COVID-19. China also donated medical supplies to Malaysia, which included 100,000 test kits and 200 ventilators. The supplies arrived in Malaysia on Saturday. Wuhan restarts freight trains to Europe amid the pandemic. Prices of necessities such as grain, oil, meat, poultry, eggs, and vegetables have fallen back since February, with wholesale vegetable prices falling 16.5% on March 27th from the end of February, and pork prices dropping 7.4% from their mid-February highs. Russia will close its borders starting on March 30th. The measure will come in to force all the road, rail, and pedestrian checkpoints and apply to Russia's maritime borders. It will not apply to Russian diplomats and the drivers of freight trucks, among others, the government said. Pakistan has said its borders with Iran, Afghanistan, and India would remain closed for another 2 weeks. Jakarta has extended the state of emergency of the country by 2 more weeks. South African billionaire businessman Patrice Motsepe said he would donate 1 billion rands, about $57 million, to help fight the coronavirus outbreak. South Africa reported its first 2 coronavirus deaths and over 1,000 cases on Friday, as the country begins a 21-day lockdown. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's wife Sophie, who tested positive before 2 weeks, said on social media on Saturday that she has been given the all clear from her doctors. Saudi Arabia said it was extending indefinitely the suspension of international passenger flights and workplace attendance in both public and private sectors, among efforts to contain the spread of the coronavirus. Australia to step up quarantine measures for returnees. By midnight on March 28th, all travelers arriving in Australia will undergo mandatory 14-day self-isolation at designated facilities like hotels before they are allowed to go home. The military will be deployed to support states and territories in ensuring people comply, including those who have already returned and are self-isolating at home. Germany's coronavirus cases jumped by 6,294 on Saturday to a total confirmed 48,582 cases, and its death toll rose by 55 to reach 325. The numbers released by the National Institute for Infectious Disease revealed on Saturday. The Spanish Health Ministry announced another massive jump in the country's coronavirus fatalities, saying the death toll had risen to 5,690 from 4,858 the day before. The number of infections stood at 72,248, up from 64,059. Turkey suspended all intercity trains and limited domestic flights as part of measures to contain a fast-growing coronavirus outbreak. In a notice detailing the travel restrictions, the Interior Ministry said all citizens must remain in the cities they reside and would only be allowed to leave with a doctor's note in the event of the death of a close family member or if they have no accommodation. India reported 149 new coronavirus cases Friday, the biggest single-day jump so far, according to the country's Ministry of Health. The total number of cases in India stand at 873, with 19 deaths. Maharashtra, a state in western India, has the highest number of cases by 180, followed by the southern state of Kerala with 173. France has ordered more than 1 billion face masks, the vast majority from China, the country's health minister said on Saturday, as the government scrambles to build up its supplies with the coronavirus outbreak showing no sign of easing. Health Minister Olivier Véran said France was using 40 million face masks weekly as it battles the pandemic and currently has 3 weeks' worth of supplies. The French government has extended measures to confine citizens to their homes during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said the country is at a critical stage in dealing with the coronavirus infection, but not at a point to declare a state of emergency. He said Japan has managed to keep clusters under control by carefully following infectious routes. But the initial strategy, now having difficulty with a rise of infections that are no longer traceable, an early sign of an infection explosion. The Republic of Ireland will enter a nationwide period of lockdown with immediate effect until April 12th. Everybody must stay at home under all circumstances. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, has tested positive for the COVID-19 virus, along with England's Chief Medical Officer, Professor Chris Whitty, and Matt Hancock, the UK's Secretary of State for Health and Social Care. In Singapore, you can be fined and jailed if you don't stay 3 feet away from others. People who fail to keep 1 meter, about 3.3 feet, of distance from others in public areas will be punishable by a fine of up to 10,000 Singapore dollars, about $7,000, or up to 6 months in prison, or both, according to a statement from the Singapore Ministry of Health. Thanks everyone for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. This is Jack, signing off from Xi'an. I'll see you in the next one. 谢谢.
Again, I'm sorry, I've not been true.